Hey, my fellow English learner, I'm Lady Giraffe, and last time I talked about the reasons why working in pronunciation is such a good idea. Today I'm gonna tell you exactly how I do it. I took a course on American pronunciation in the past and learned a lot, but now I work on my pronunciation on my own, at home. There are many wonderful and free resources on the internet about general American accent, and I'm gonna list them at the end of this video. What I'm saying is that I'm not an expert in any way, shape or form, and I'm gonna talk about my personal experience, the things I personally tried and found effective. If you're excited, as I am, let's dive in. When I work on my pronunciation, I focus on three things: separate sounds, linking, the way words flow together, and intonation. Sounds. If I want to produce a sound, it's important to be able to recognize it when I'm listening to something. So listening to a lot of content in English is a crucial first step. If you're curious to know how to improve your listening skills, I talk about it here. You need to learn to listen to the slight differences between similar sounds in English, and minimal pairs can really help you with that. A minimal pair consists of two words that are exactly the same except for one sound. For example, peach and pitch, cap and cup, wine and vine. After my fair share of listening practice, I learned the theory behind the sound. What your lips should be doing, what your mouth should be doing, stuff like that. Then I drill the sound. And pronunciation practice is mostly muscle practice. I drill the sound separately, then in minimal pairs, in phrases, and at last in sentences. The next step is getting feedback. I was enrolled in an American pronunciation course at one time, so I received a lot of feedback there. But you can totally do that on your own, at your own pace at home, by recording yourself, then listening back to your voice and analyzing and comparing it with the thing you're trying to imitate. However, to be really sure you're on the right path, I would highly recommend you to ask somebody to judge your accent, maybe a teacher or a native speaker. And you can also post your recordings, the recordings of your voice, on the subreddit called Judge My Accent, and receive feedback from native English speakers. A great exercise to practice sounds is reading out loud. You can concentrate on one or two challenging sounds and read something fun for 5-10 minutes a day, and you'll see progress in no time. Before any practice session or recording a new video, I always warm up the muscles in my mouth, my tongue, and warm up my vocal cords. So I make faces, I hum, I move my tongue around in my mouth. I know, it looks ridiculous, but it really helps you to prepare to produce the sounds of American English. American English requires you to relax your jaw, to unclench your jaw and open your mouth really wide. I usually don't focus much on getting the sounds exactly right when I'm speaking spontaneously. Communication is my #1 priority. Always. Well, it shouldn't discourage you that you're not able to produce the sounds exactly right when you're having a conversation with a friend. From my experience, it takes a lot of time and effort to move this ideal sound from your practice into your day-to-day speech. And I notice that sometimes I get my R's exactly right in practice, but then I'm talking to a friend or I'm having a conversation with somebody and my R is back again, like into the R territory. It happens and it shouldn't discourage you. It just takes a while for the sound to become second nature to you. Linking and intonation. It's important to learn to have a nice flow to your speech and link the words together. It makes you sound more natural and fluent. For example, I should have said something turns into I should have said something, or even I should have said something. I should have said something. Drilling phrases and sentences while focusing on linking the words together is what helped me a lot with this area of pronunciation. Also, singing songs helps with that too. Like, I usually take a really fast-paced song, maybe from Red Hot Chili Peppers, for example, and just sing or rap it with the same flow and rhythm. I'm trying to reach this level of fluency that native speakers have with their linking. As for intonation, I don't know better exercises than imitating and shadowing English speakers. You take a scene from a TV show or a movie, maybe a TED Talk, an interview, anything, and then you repeat after the person you really like, imitating, or you repeat along with this person, shadowing. It helps to have the script before you and working on it beforehand. You can analyze and find content words, the most important words in a sentence, then contractions, what is reduced, pauses, linking, etc. I like listening to the same clip again and again and again on 0.5 speed and then 0.75 speed. I analyze short scenes, then practice them for a few days, and after that, I usually record them. I can listen to my voice and see my face and compare the way I sound with the original clip. I also really like imitating hand gestures and facial expressions as well as the emotions. It can be super fun. I also love working on different scenes with other people and then recording our fun time together. My speaking buddies and I recording things like dramatic scenes from movies or in comedic scenes from TV shows and even a rap battle. It can be so much fun, and collaborating with other learners really helps me to boost my motivation and continue practicing. If I'm watching Friends or Futurama for the 100th time, I really like repeating random phrases after my favorite characters with the same intonation, just for fun. And now I want to share a few resources that I used and still use on the journey to a better accent, specifically for American English. Pronuncian.com. This podcast was my first introduction to general American accent around 9 or 10 years ago, and it was very helpful, especially when the information like that wasn't ubiquitous like nowadays. They explain sounds, linking, rhythm, intonation, and many other useful things. The podcast also has transcripts. The next resource for me was American Accent Training by Anne Cook. It's not a free resource, it's an actual book, but I thought I'd mention it. It has an interesting structure because it starts not with the sounds, but with the American intonation. The book introduced me to many concepts I still use today in my everyday speech, and it has a lot of practice materials. Rachel's English is a fantastic YouTube channel that has been around for 12 years, and I learned a lot from it. I love the way Rachel shows how to make sounds. My next resource is something I like the most right now, and it's a YouTube channel called Accents Way English with Hadar. I mentioned I joined the course on American pronunciation earlier, and it was Hadar's course. She's a fantastic teacher with a ton of knowledge and experience, and her channel is a gem. She's not a native English speaker, her native tongue is Hebrew, and she started working on her pronunciation as an adult, which I find fascinating. The majority of strategies I share today that really worked for me are those she taught me and my fellow learners. So I'd highly recommend you to check out her channel. She also has a podcast, Influency Podcast, and it's packed with priceless information. Improving your pronunciation requires a ton of effort, but it's manageable and you can totally do it. Also, you can have fun at the same time, especially if you collaborate with other English learners. So now, please share with me your ways of improving your pronunciation. How do you manage it? What do you do? Please let me know in the comments down below. And thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time with more awesome language content. Can't stop, addicted to the shindig. Chopped up, he says, I'm gonna win big. Choose not a life of imitation, distant cousin to the reservation.